These are the latest pictures from the Syrian city of Raqqa, where the US-led coalition's long fight has now come to an end. But, as you can see, it has left wide-scale destruction. President Trump branded the liberation a critical breakthrough, adding the campaign against ISIL will soon enter a new phase. Well, for more on this, RT's Nikki Aaron now joins me live. Hi there, Nikki. So, what has been the response to this idea of a new phase?
Well, while the liberation of Raqqa is indeed a critical breakthrough in the fight against Islamic State, it brings an end to the 4-month-long siege of the Syrian city, which has acted as a de facto capital and headquarters for Islamic State in Syria. But while the liberation of the city has come at an immense cost, a civilian cost, I should say, human rights groups estimate that almost all of the city's residents have been forced to flee the city, while thousands of residents have been killed in coalition bombings. And this comes as it's believed around 80% of the city now lies in ruins. But little mention of this from the US President Donald Trump, who instead boasted that US military forces had made more progress against Islamic State in the first 9 months of his presidency than it had under his predecessor Barack Obama in the final years of his administration. Also, most curiously, is how Donald Trump mentioned what would be the next phase for the US in Syria, speaking of a political transition. And these comments came as a bit of a surprise to both the Russian side and, of course, to the Syrian government itself. Earlier today, the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov was asked for a response.
When
we hear about the new US line in Syria, which establishes local councils on sovereign Syrian territories, this raises concerns. We put this question to Washington and expect to receive an honest and clear answer.
Now, the Russian Foreign Minister also mentioned serious concerns over the role of coalition forces in the Raqqa liberation campaign, in particular cases where ISIL fighters were able to leave the city of Raqqa without resistance, enabling them to go on to fight Syrian government forces in other parts of the country. So while the recent victories over Islamic State are indeed a milestone in the fight against the terrorist group, it has raised serious concerns over what the true role of US forces in Syria really are.
Indeed, RT's Nikki Aaron, thank you very much.